There it is. I got the starter changed so it all spins in the right direction. I put some was it seafoam into carburetors and try to clean it, but I don't think it's going to work because they're so clogged I can't get anything to come out of the drain holes on the carburetors, so it's not actually getting into the bowl. So it's pretty bad. I'm going to have to tear down and rebuild the carburetors. That's probably for sure. But before I do that, I need to take photos or video of how it goes back together, because this usually takes me a couple, 3 weeks to get things done, and I forget how things go back together. So anyhow, that's what this video is for. Okay, get some close-ups. All right, this is going to have to come out. Looks like the radiator is going to have to come out in order to get this air box out. I've got the top off the air box. Start by taking top off of that, pull out the filter, then pull out the top of the air box, and finally you get down to this piece right here, and then there's no choices after this except looks like the radiator, some vacuum hoses, or I don't know what those are. That looks like cooling hoses, and so this is what it looks like on the right side before. I should actually turn the lamp on and get some good yeah, that's better, so that I can actually see what's going on. But anyhow, you can see up in there, well, there's a screw for draining the bowls. Turn that screw and nothing comes out, so it's pretty messed up. And I'm squirting seafoam in through the fuel intake, and it's refusing to take the fuel too. So looks like the floats are stuck and probably all the jets are gummed up. This bike's been sitting for about 10 years, so I wouldn't be surprised if it's all varnished up and clogged up inside. Now I got to go over to the other side and take some photos. And let me go over here get over here to the other side. Take a look. There's some more hoses. Goes up to this. You got one of those things. I don't know what that is. Vacuum operated though. And there's some more. I don't know if this may be smog control or it's all vacuum hoses. And then down here, okay, those gotta come off. And now if you look at YouTube, you can find all kinds of videos about this motorcycle, but I could not find one that tells you how to take off the carburetors. I saw a couple that tells you how to put them back on. I guess that's really the hard part. I've had two motorcycles that I had a CM400, and I've got my Shadow right over there. I tried the same trick with the seafoam. I got some improvements, but didn't work. I ended up tearing down the carburetors, rebuilding them, and putting them back in. And I know what a chore that is, but you know, at this point, I don't think I have a choice. So seafoam's good if you've only had it setting for a month or so, but this has been setting. First, I'm going to take this thermostat off. One screw or one clamp here, and another clamp right here, and one wire, and I should be able to take the whole thermostat out and give me access to what comes out next. Parts go in here. Thermostat. See, what's next is probably, maybe I can get by with just moving some of this stuff or disconnecting it. This guy right here, there's a couple of clamps I could probably loosen that hose and just move it completely out of the way. This is going to have to be moved in order to get that carburetor out. Darn. Actually, It does not move because it's pressed into the actual cylinder. It's a cooling jacket, I guess. So I'm beginning to think this set of carburetor is going to go out the other side. So, all right, later. Okay, here on the left side, looks like just a bunch of rubber vacuum hoses to disconnect, maybe a few screws, but it's going to have to come out this side because the water jacket feed tube will block exit from the other side. So I'll get started. Probably take this lower piece off here. Take a good picture of everything before I start disconnecting stuff. Okay, and then this guy tube goes up under there, around there. Follow this guy over. He goes into that thing, and this looks like this is a fuel line. It's right here, and get started. Okay, couldn't get the hose off this, twisted, and finally I just broke it off. So that's got to be pressed in and glued back on. So we got to be careful about this guy. But here we go. Let's see. Looks like there's a T there. It goes down to, shit, where does that go? So much crap's got to come out of here. Damn. Okay. Got all this off, and it looks like it's gonna be ready to use the fine adjustment tool on it. So get underneath the carb where the throat is, kind of pull. That's not gonna budge. Let's see what we got here. It moves a little. It just needs to be broken free of the boots. I'm going to put a shot or two of lubricant around the boots, kind of loosen the grip. Let's see, here we go. There, and right there. If I had a mind to, and the time to do it, I'd just buy some injectors, place them up in here, get me a controller, and let the injectors inject directly into the throat of each carb, and be done with this carburetor setup crap. Just needed a bigger pry bar. Boom. The all four came out. Had to do this side a couple times, that side a couple times, and then back over to this side, and it just came right out. So now it's I guess disconnect all the hoses and cables and throttles and chokes. Okay. These two hoses go in on top of the carburetors. I already pulled this one loose from the other end. I'm gonna take this one off from this end because they're the same size, and I don't want to get them mixed up. Okay, now got the carburetors kind of, sort of out of there, but last thing holding on is throttle cables, and you can see they're easy to get to now, so there's no problem. Just relax that and twist it out, same way I did the choke up here. So I'll do that now. I should be able to pull that up. No, not yet. Okay. See if I can get that. Everything seems to be in the way. piece of cake. Check that out. Okay, that's the throttle cable. The other is the back off. So, same thing, right with that one. Okay, there's that guy. He's loose. To get him out of that hole that he's in. I think I'm going to have to take that nut all the way off the bottom. Finally. Be sure to separate these two guys. The first one took off is actually the back off, and that's the actual throttle. And the throttle one goes in the front up here, and the back off goes back here on this side. So make sure you don't get those crossed up. Maybe the motor will run backwards. So time to take inventory and start cleaning and disassembling. Okay, this is going to take me a couple of weeks to get around to finishing this. So in the meantime, I need to make sure I don't get any dirt into the piston. So I'm going to start putting paper towels in the holes, like so, and like so. That'll keep the dirt out. And where the hell did that spring come from? Oh my God. And there's a plant back there. Where'd that come from? Well, figure it out later. Yeah. Oh, it looks like there's tons of room in there now. Now with 4 carburetors in my airbox.